Okay, so this is William Shakespeare, but this is an avatar of William Shakespeare. So it's called Will AI Shakespeare. 98% accurate Shakespeare. And I was here earlier with Ben, and the people here were doing a technical rehearsal, which went on, mine went on for about 8 hours. So they suggested that I cut a few bits out of it. I sort of got into doing audio descriptions, and my audio descriptions are 2 or 3 sonnets long. So, you know, before I actually get to the action. But yeah, so basically, we've got Will AI Shakespeare, and he is made out of artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and a brand new science of DNA reconstruction. And using all of those facilities, he's able to go back in time to 1606 and take a theatre load of people back with him to watch King Lear perform for the very first time in front of King James. So that is what my whole piece is about. And the person who's going to go back with him is Forrest Biffle-Johnson. Some of you familiar with my work will know Forrest Biffle-Johnson as Forrest. With his little slogan things when we had the first lockdown and things weren't going too well. I developed a comedy character for my own sanity. And he travels back with Will AI Shakespeare. He's blagged his way in. You know what he's like. He's blagged his way in because he's actually writing in real life. He's writing a book about Shakespeare. He has been paid £500,000, £500,000 to write his book on Shakespeare.
Is he really writing it?
We don't know. We haven't been asked to write anything yet. We don't. In this play, he's writing a book on improving Shakespeare. And so that's why he's going back with Will AI Shakespeare back to 1606 to get some insights for his book. And there's one golden rule when we all go back to 1606, which Forrest stands at the podium here and declares there's one guideline: you must not interact with anyone from 1606. The consequences could be deadly. So I don't know who might interact with somebody from 1606, but so.
At the King's arrival.
Oh, yeah, okay, so over here we have King James. And this is King James the First of England and 6th of Scotland. So he was on the throne just after Elizabeth I. And he's an interesting character because this play was performed in front of him. King there. And he has a magnificent hat there. That's his hat. King James, and he's notoriously bisexual. He has 8 kids with his wife Queen Anne, but he has quite a lot of favourites who become titled Secret Land and all the rest of it. But we haven't got time to talk about any of that, so we're going to go straight to about page 27. So, we're going to bring out, if you don't know King Lear, you probably need to know it in the play that I'm writing. We turn up back in 1606, and you go in with Will AI Shakespeare, with Forrest Biffle-Johnson. You know King James is there because he comes out and does a dirty sonnet. And then we're thrown into the action. We get Shakespeare. Opposite, what is it? Where yeah, there's a reaction for a what's it? I can't remember the word. But you know, if because we're going back there, something has to come here. Okay. So what ends up happening is Will AI Shakespeare becomes the Geordie voice on Gigglebox. It has to be renamed slightly for legal reasons. And so we need the 3 sisters in Norwich Castle waiting for this new program to come on, where Forrest Biffle-Johnson has been sent back to 1606. And we hear the 3 sisters griping about the fact that they're going to King Lear's ball tonight and what are they going to wear. And Cordelia, who's come out as non-binary, changed her name to Elia, prefers it that way, but the others are a bit resistant to that. She ends up, she's a goth, She mentioned that. She ends up with a lemon trouser suit that she's not too impressed with, quite frankly, and it's got her dead name on it, her own name on it. So she's not very impressed. So she's going, are you kidding? It's lemon. Regan is sort of saying, it's like pretty. And of course, I don't wear lemon. Don't be silly. You wear what you're told to wear. Lemon is on trend. Whatever, you're not my mother. Are you wearing lemon? Yeah, thanks, Ben. Oh. So yeah, I'm not wearing, what are you wearing? Are you wearing lemon? Don't be silly. Orange. And then, this one's asking, what's Goneril wearing? She'll be here in a minute. She's in strawberry, you're in orange, and I'm in lemon. But over the Starburst sisters. Oh, she's yeah, ta-da! In comes Goneril. Cordelia is like, oh. I catch it. Oh my God. Oh. From your breasts. She's saying, well, the eyes are in this season. It's all the rage in Suffolk. So I'm not going to dash around and do all that heads because I did that earlier today and I ended up having a little bit of a nervous breakdown. So that's where we get up to. We've got these three, and then they're waiting for the television show to start, Gigglebox to start, and on comes King Lear on the old telly box. So we see King Lear sitting on his throne. God Save the King plays, which we all love. And Cordelia's there saying, "What's come? What are we watching? What are we watching?" Back to 1606. Shh. What's he wearing? It's that old thing the mummy made him. It's old and tatty. I told him to go to the repair shop. So that sort of gives you an idea of where we are, and then we get Lear on, and he is. This is the. Okay, so if you know King Lear, basically what he's going to do is going to divide his kingdom into three, and oh yes, and oh, hang on, get the page. Okay, so here's where he starts. So Lear comes on. Meantime, we shall express our darker purpose. Give me the map there. He's falling to his fall for the map, and who's over here? Boris! He's going, oh, did he mean? Is he asking me? Did he ask me? So what does he want? Oh, he wants the map. He wants the mop. He wants the mop. So he's over there giving King Lear the mop, and he's going, no, mop, you idiot. So Boris is on now. Remember the one golden rule? Don't interact. He's interacting. Who declared there was only one rule? Boris is interacting. So he's over there. And it's not look like that. Boris, carefully, you'll have someone's eye out. Act 3, Scene 6. And oh, I can skip the whole big speech, but that's probably the better. Meantime, we shall express our darker. Let's give it a map. No, we have divided in three our kingdom, and 'tis our fast intent to shape all cares and business from our age. What a kingdom! I don't want a husband. So, princes, France and Burgundy, great rivals in our youngest daughter's love. Long in our court have made their amorous sojourn, and here are to be. Tell me, my daughters, since now we shall divest us both of rule, interest of territory, cares of state, Which of you shall we say does love us most? That we our largest bounty may extend where nature does with merit challenge. Goneril, our eldest born, speak first. Aside. Sir, you're a tyrant, a moody bastard. You might be my dad, but you're an arsehole. You gave me all, but now I get a third, and I'm meant to look smiley and grateful. That's what I think, but I better not say that. There'll be toys out the pram, so I'll sing your praises and make up some crap. Sir, I love you more than words can wield the matter. Dearer than eyesight, space, and liberty. On she goes. So Lear comes back to her. Of all these bounds, even from this line to this, with shadowy forests and with champaigns rich, with plenteous rivers, and wide-skirted meads would make thee lady. So she gets her third. And then Regan, our dearest Regan, wife to Cornwall, speak. Horace is over here going, oh, this should be good. Spoiler alert, brass neck. Sir, I am made of the self-same metal as my sister is, and prize me at her work in my true heart. Blah blah blah. There gives her a third. To thee and thine hereditary ever remain this ample third of our fair kingdom, no less in space, validity, and pleasure than that conferred on Goneril. Now our joy, although the last, not least. To whose young love the vines of France and Middle Burgundy strive to be interest. What can you say to draw a third more opulent than your sister? Nothing, my lord. Nothing? Nothing. Nothing should come of me. Speak again. Horace can't bear this. So he runs on with the birthday cake and starts singing happy birthday to King Lear and gets you lot all to join in. No interacting, remember? So, and then we go back to Lear. Mend your speed. He's not very amused with Boris, I have to tell you, but that doesn't stop Boris. You know. How, Cordelia, mend your speech a little lest you may mar your fortunes. He's like, Elia, how many times do I have to tell you? Boris runs over the cake slice, cutting the atmosphere with the cake slice. This is the cake slice I see before me. Cordelia, good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back as I right fit. Boris is over there going, you have to tell him you love him and we can all have some cake. Cordelia, obey you, love you, and most honor you. I have my sister's husbands if they say they love you all. So blah blah blah. Boris is down the other end with the cake, thinking, what am I? Sticks his own head in the cake, ambushed by Kay. Which is the phrase I think he used at one point when he happened to be at the party that he perhaps wasn't meant to be at. So it's rather annoying there. So young and so tender, Cordelia, so young, my lord, and true. Lear, let it be so, thy truth then be thy dower, for by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mysteries of Hecate and the night, by all the operation of the orbs from whom we do exist and cease to be, here I disclaim all my paternal care, propinquity and property of blood, a stranger to my heart and me, hold thee from this forever. Go to your room. All of these come down. End of that scene, and on comes the Greek god Priapus, who, if you know him, he has one rather unusual feature, which is an enormous penis. So big that he has to push it in on a wheelbarrow. He's my in-between singer. He does a dirty limerick every time he comes on, and we change the scene. So I'll give you the limerick, and I'm done for now. A Greek god with an enormous chopper. Wanted to see the seaside with his foot. His dick was so big, he bought it away. The other two of them were either Norfolk or Swansea.